Good morning, class. Happy Monday. Today is October 15th, and we are going to be working through a lesson on debugging. So by the end of the day, we should have finished the commands section in Swift Playgrounds. So due at the end of the period is going to be the puzzle titled The Shortest Route. All right, let's get started. So I want everybody to open up Swift Playgrounds on their iPad and open the puzzle called Portal Practice. How many commands did you write to solve the puzzle Portal Practice? Go ahead, take a minute to count. Okay, if you said 13, you would be right. Move forward, move forward, move forward, turn left, move forward, toggle switch, move forward, turn left, move forward, collect gem. Awesome. Now let's think of a digital game that you play. It can be anything. What are a few commands and sequences you would need to play that game? Perhaps you're thinking of a game like Mario Kart, where you have to use the joystick to move forward, move left, move right, move back, drift, or shoot out shells. All of those things are commands, and you do them in a particular sequence in order to get your player to do what you want them to do. All right, now let's look at the third question. How does thinking like a computer compare with thinking like a human? So thinking like a computer, computers are pre-programmed and they can't anticipate change, or they can't deal with change. Humans, on the other hand, are very adaptable. We can, something will arise and we can change, whereas a computer, they're pre-programmed and they're going to run that program no matter what. All right, so thinking ahead, what do you do when your code doesn't work? And that's what we're going to be focused on today. We're going to be thinking like detectives when our code doesn't work, and we're going to be debugging. So I want you to imagine you're building a bike. Okay? So you take it out in the garage, you open up the box, you take out all the pieces, and you start putting it together. And then suppose when you finish, there's an extra piece. Now I want you to sit with the person sitting next to you, and I want you guys to discuss how you would fix this problem. All right, turn and talk, go. Now, as a class, I want us to debug like a pro, obviously. So we need to define a process that we do to fix something. So much like you were going to fix the bike, what are the key steps that you took to fix that bike? Well, hopefully the first one was you just defined the problem. What actually is my problem? Perhaps maybe the company actually just gave you an extra piece and there really isn't a problem with the bike. Or maybe it's one of the most important pieces that keeps the wheels on or something like that. So you really need to define the problem. The next thing is you're going to prepare a plan to fix it. So if you've got this missing piece on the wheel, you're going to go back in the instructions and figure out where exactly did you miss that step. And then you're going to fix it. Try it out. Try out your plan. And then the last step is going to be reflect. Did it work? Did your plan actually fix the problem? And if it didn't, you're going to start right back at the top and define the problem. Prepare, try, and reflect. So here's a student, much like yourself, about your age, who uses the debugging process every day. So let's take a look.
Debugging is finding and fixing problems. There are lots of ways to debug problems. One of the easiest is to move step by step until you find where something goes wrong. Here I'm trying to do a back handspring on the beam, but I keep falling off. I walked through each part step by step and realized where my mistake was. I wasn't putting my hands on the beam correctly. So I tried another back handspring on the beam with my new hand position, and I got it. I was really glad I debugged my back handspring.
All right, we're going to stop there. So I want you guys to write down these two important vocabulary words in your Notability notebook. The first one is bug. A bug is what we've been talking about. It's just an error, it's a problem. And when we're talking specifically about computer science, a bug is an error in your code. A bug is an error in your code. Now, when you try to fix the problem, like when you try to fix your bike, you are debugging. It's the process of identifying and fixing the error. And so in computer science, when your code won't work and you're in Swift Playgrounds on your iPad and you just can't get it to work, you're going to go back in your code and you're going to identify where you went wrong, fix the error, and then you will be debugging. So debugging, again, is the process of identifying and fixing the error. This is just a little interesting information. So maybe you didn't know this, but the term debugging actually comes from a famous computer scientist. Her name is Grace Hopper. She was an American computer scientist and a United States Navy Rear Admiral. One day when she was working at Harvard on the Mark I computer, this was in 1944, by the way, where the computers took up the entire room. She was working on the Mark II computer and she discovered that there was a moth in the computer that was causing it not to work. So the term debugging actually does come from a real bug causing problems. Now, of course, it's important for you to understand that there's no bug in your iPad when your code isn't working. It's just an error that you, the user, the programmer, accidentally created. Your job is to debug it and get rid of that error. All right, so now let's head to Swift Playgrounds. We're going to be working through the chapter on commands. At this point, if you're not quite to finding and fixing bugs, that's okay. But hopefully we're getting to finding and fixing bugs, bug squash practice, and the shortest route. When you're finished today, I want to make sure you submit the shortest route to the Schoology Dropbox. All right, the time is yours.